here we go again. This is me, myself, and Flint. The podcast about inner turmoil. Maybe. But anyway, yeah. It's just a show that all I do is talk. And all y'all do is listen. Hopefully. I hope y'all listen. And I hope y'all enjoy and get something out of it. Anyway, I'm coming to you from the mobile pod lab again. It's a little bit of a warm day today. Been at work all day. Staying busy all the time. Anyway, so there's things I think about quite often, and one thing I was thinking about earlier today was regrets. I'm sure we all have some sort of regret here or there, something we've done in our past that we wish we really hadn't. And I'm not gonna lie, I've got a couple of regrets that I wish never happened, but I won't go into the details of those. So I guess the hardest thing about having a regret is there's things that happen that you'll never be able to fix or get, I guess, really what they call closure on it. There's things that, like having a regret with somebody that you'll never be able to talk to them about it and clear the air over it, knowing that things happen that you just won't be able to fix. And with regret, I guess the best thing to do is you just have to forgive yourself, because there's no way to be able to get the forgiveness of the person that you hurt, or come to that thing's getting on my nerves. I got a deal hanging here that's tapping. It was distracting me. But I know that there's times where I try to forget about things. There's things that have happened in the past that I truly do regret and wish I could make it right, but I know that that's not an option. And I'm not gonna lie, there's times I'll sit here, I'll be doing something, and that memory will come up of things that have happened, and I'm going, man, I wish I could change that, but I know I can't. And I know that it's one of those things that I have to get past, but can you really get past something that you truly regret? Can you get past something that you can't fix? I don't know. I know that there's things that I can't change, that I have to live with, and that all I can do is learn and grow from it and move on to the next phase of my life. And I know some people people that they have regrets that span a lifetime. But needless to say, regrets are regrets. There's nothing much we can do about it other than forgive ourselves for what we've done. Something else I was kind of thinking about is, and I just went blank. Oh, you know, things like that. Y'all what I was thinking about, but you know, there's a lot of people that talk about trauma and what things cause trauma and everything. I'm not saying that I've had some of it. I don't know why it's happened in my life, but there's a lot of things that I don't remember. I'll be talking to a friend and they go, "Oh, you remember when we did this?" No, I honestly don't. I might say I do, but a lot of times I'll not remember what the event that's happened or stuff like that. There's things I should remember that I'm sitting here going, no, I don't recall that. And there's big parts of my life that I know I made it through stuff, but I don't remember what all has occurred. I wish I did. I wish I could remember everything, but there's so much that I guess I've just blocked out. Why I blocked it out, I don't know. I know there's some people that specialize in like hypnosis and stuff like that, and help try to get back lost memories, but I'm on the fence about things like that. I don't know if something like that would actually work. I don't know, because how much of it would be I would remember something because I was led to remember it, and it's a false memory. I would like to remember more than what I do, but with that said, I have had some head injuries. I've had 3 concussions throughout my life. One when I was young, I was starting 6th grade, and I had a bicycle wreck and had a pretty severe concussion. I had the wreck, and I had the bike wreck, and for about 3 hours I knew nothing for at least that long. I remember right before the bike wreck happened, but the next thing I remember, I came to in the hospital. That's all I remember. I don't remember what happened after the hospital, other than them telling me, "Hey, make sure y'all wake him up every couple hours and check on him," because of the concussion. I remember sleeping on the couch, getting woke up every couple hours And the last time they woke me up, I remember going, I want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And, you know, other than that, I don't remember a whole lot about, you know, from the time right before the wreck, and for quite a while after that. Then I had another one. We went to catch a calf in the corral. Well, she's a pretty good sized heifer, and she went to. I was closing the gate, and it was a gate that you had to pick up and move backwards with, or pick up to close. And I remember I grabbed it, and I was going backwards with it, and I remember seeing her going to jump, and she was going to jump the gate that I had a hold of, and my words were, "Oh crap!" It wasn't necessarily the crap word, but you know, you know what I'm saying. And next thing I know, I'm laying on the ground with her right almost on top of me, and I jumped up to get away from her. And when I jumped up, of course, I'm not thinking. All I remember was that she was going to jump the gate, and next thing I know, I'm on the ground. And I went to jump up, so I'm not thinking clearly anyway. I jumped up, and she spun and kicked both hind legs, and her hoof caught me on the chin, on the bottom of the chin, and I was on the ground again. The gate to the outside, to the pasture, was still, the gate I was closing was inside the corral. The gate to the outside of the outside gate of the corral that led into the pasture was still partially opened. And once I jumped up again, trying to get away from her, I climbed on that gate, and she managed to push that gate open with me on top of it and get out of the pasture. So I'm walking to the truck because I was basically done. I was out. So my face was bloody, and I had blood running from my nose, blood running from my mouth and gums and everything. And I walked to the truck. Of course, my granddad was there too. He asked me if I was okay, and I remember answering, going, "No, I'm going home." And we went to the house. And I remember I didn't even worry about cleaning up. I went and laid down on the couch. And of course, my grandmother was fretting over me and everything, going, asked what happened, was asking what happened and everything. And Granddad was telling her about it. And she grabbed a cold, wet wash rag and washed my face, because I laid on the couch and I didn't move. And then several years later, I was same corral. Funny, it happened in the same place, but I was loading some calves up. I had loaded some calves and taken them over to the corral at the house. And I had an old mama cow that we were going to sell, and She was the last one I needed to get on the trailer. And I went back over there, wanted to get her loaded up. And it's something I've done a million times. And so I never even thought about it. She jumped in the trailer and went to the front of the trailer. I jumped in and grabbed the center gate that splits the trailer into two sections. I flung that gate, and it was half inch from latching, and she kicked. And that gate caught me on the left side, and the left side of the head, and all I remember was my great uncle was there and told me that I screamed. I don't remember that, but I do remember doubling over. She went past me in the trailer. I was still in the trailer, and she went past me, and I doubled over and put my hand over my left eye and pulled my hand away, and I could not see out my left eye, and with my right eye I could see my hand was full of blood, which was covered with blood, and I thought that I had, lost my eye. But after a few minutes, after a little bit, I started where I could see out that eye again. But those were the 3 times that I know that I've had a concussion. And I know I have some memory loss due to that. And it's not something that I'm really proud of, because it's something that bothers me, and I don't know if those 3 times have caused what caused the other memory loss, or if I just couldn't remember those times before that. But I do know that those 3 concussions have caused me to have some memory issues. But anyway, it's all fun and games till somebody gets hurt. And I'm one of these people that when there's a job to do, I don't ask questions. I jump in and do it. I figure it out. I figure it out as I go. I guess I'm the prime example of fake it till you make it. And I've made it a lot of times by not knowing what I'm doing. And I'll figure it out. You need that done? I'll do it. Hell, I don't have a clue. But it's crazy though, with having some of these issues mentally, I still have the mentality of I guess a fabricator, because I've worked on stuff like I built a hay trailer. I had the axles and I had steel. I had metal tubing and pipe, round tubing that and I had a welder. So I spent about a week cutting pipe welding it, cutting tubing, welding it, till I built a hay wagon to where I could put 3 bales of hay in it and pull it out in the pasture and feed the cattle. And people asked me if I had blueprints for it or whatever, and honestly, no. Everything I did on that came from my brain, basically. And I've had different projects like that where I'm like, well, I need to do something like, I need something like this, and I'll build it because I'm not paying that high of a price for something that I can build. And I just thought I enjoyed figuring things out and getting it put together. And I'm just one of them people that I guess I'm kind of mechanically inclined, but there's things that, you know, still baffle me. So, anyway, yeah, that's some stuff about me and some things that have been on my mind. So, I'm going to try to make this a daily thing to where I just talk about stuff on the way home. It could be about anything, like my concussions, about regrets, about the Bible. It could be about anything. It could even be about paranormal stuff. I don't know. It just whatever I'm thinking about that day. And I hope that y'all enjoy. I've still been meaning to set up a Facebook, or I've got a Facebook page called Me, Myself, and Friends. Welcome to join that. I've been meaning to set up an email address for the show, but it's one of them things that, you know, I'll do it when I remember to do it. So, yeah, I hope y'all have enjoyed, and I hope you have a good rest of the day, a good evening. I think me and the wife are going to go for dinner here in a little bit, and we're going to do an episode of the Paranormal Adventures, which you can find that on Podbean. But we've also got a Paranormal Adventures VOD where you can see us talk and just kind of do our thing. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Oh yeah, and don't forget to look up the Supernatural Roundtable, because they are exploding on YouTube. So anyway, y'all have a good day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.